Friday, September 9, 2025, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We had another monsoon rain. I think, for me at least, this is only the second one this year. It may have rained once or twice when I was away, but I don't think so. And anyhow, it's flowing. The wash is wet. This is a rare thing lately. It always has been, I guess. But I haven't been able to catch it doing it for a few years. It's very overcast. Here's a small mesquite tree, just about being washed away, but it'll probably live. There's no telling how old it is. Several of these are mesquite. Good. I didn't recognize that in the past. Climbing back up. Going to take a look around at the mountains. They're all in the clouds. All the way around. There's Plamosa Pass there with Guadalupe Peak and Plamosa Mountains heading off to the northwest. And I'm looking north. Earlier, all of these were socked in with in the clouds, but it has let up. I think they said by 3:30 the monsoonous rain would be over. So I thought I'd come out here and take a look around. Of course, they have flash flood warnings. There's some water flowing in the roadway here. This has no drainage per se, nothing on purpose. They don't maintain it very well. So it gets washboarded and gets pretty rough and big old puddles. But the little van can take it. Sure wish I could get everything arranged and go camping. I guess the plan now is to wait until it gets cold enough around here to camp out, be out during the daytime. Well, now, what kind of a big cartridge is that? Colt 45. That is one big Colt 45. That's a revolver Colt 45 bullet, I think, because the ridge is larger than the bullet. If that was for a semi-auto ACP, it'd be smaller, and that would be even with the side. But that's a big bullet. That's a good inch or more long. That would that make you do a somersault. That would, if that hit you. So there are people. I just was walking around. I just happened to look down. There's been people out here shooting around. I found some 9mm just a minute ago laying here. They were not too impressive, but this 45, it sure is. Yeah, well, there's a mess. Somebody has brought up some firewood, I suppose. It's garbage demolition of something they had, and they just tore it apart. Started burning it here, left the wood. The rest of it, though, is just garbage. See, the thing is that pit. You can't. That's a fire pit. No, that's just a okay, here's a 9mm compared to the Colt 45s. That's a burn pit. You stand over that and breathe the smoke in it, no matter what you burn in there. There's so much garbage in that now, buried and impregnated with all kinds of stuff out of the sea. That's all this wood is treated with chemicals. And you burn that, and you're just may as well smoke cigarettes. So you don't, as per my previous lecture, you don't cook in a burn pit like this. There's another 9mm. See, these shell casings, the brass don't bother me. That'll just, it's just almost natural. It'll go back eventually. It's harmless. But for people to shoot and then just drop their unfired rounds, the lead. And the lead coming out of these things is very harmful. They're just shooting everything and not paying attention to the fact that they're spitting out all these lead. Oh, anyway. I left to get away from this stuff, but I guess it's because I bring it with me. I gotta let it all go. I gotta let it go. Don't let it bother me. Came out and drinking a couple beers. Because it's just after payday and I got all my finances reconciled, and I swear though it's difficult. It's hard. I've been trying to do right by. Oh, I won't even mention it. Anyway, it's looking green. Should be. I mean, it has not been excessively dry. I think we got a couple sprinkles and one monsoon several weeks ago. Now this one. And things are flowing. And that's always a good thing. Because this water won't leave here. Eventually it goes towards the Bouse Wash, and it goes down because there's no surface drainage to the Colorado. It has to go underground in order to get there, and it doesn't get there direct that way. It goes down to replenish the aquifer, I hope, and I think that's the case. I've read several times now where they've measured the isotopes, which tells them the age of water. And they're pumping out water now that was put underground 10,000 years ago. Now, I'm not sure exactly what that means. Don't know if it means that it takes 10,000 years to replenish the aquifer, or we've drained all the youngest water out and now we've hit that $10,000 or 10,000 year old water, or don't know exactly what it means. Open for interpretation, if you ask me. So, nothing else is going on with my life, guys. I have made all the improvements I'm going to make for a while on the van. Got things working pretty well. Except the doors and the locks and stuff like that are still baffling me. I don't know how to make that stuff work. Something's broke somewhere, and I'm thinking maybe the mice have chewed up wiring in it at some point. So, back to the task at hand, which was drinking some beer. I took a look at the radar map this morning before coming out here, and it showed the classic monsoon pattern the weather, the big low pressure system was coming from the kind of the west, southwest, but in its rotation counterclockwise, it was bringing up this moisture from almost directly south of us. Right up, the rain was forming right at the tip of the Gulf of California and the Baja Peninsula, which is the meaning of monsoon. It says it stands for the changing of the wind direction, and so that's what's happening. The wind is coming from the south now, bringing up that moisture right out of the Gulf of California, which is, I think it's only 90 miles away or something like that. It's not far away. And that's looking straight south right there, by the way. And that's called, that's the COFA, King of Arizona Wildlife Refuge. King of Arizona is, it's named after some kind of mine back up in there. Somebody named a mine King of Arizona, and then they named that preserve all around that the same. And you can see those flat top mountains are up in the clouds, so they're gathering rain. And as you can see, this wash goes right directly in that direction up under the I-10 expressway, right up into those mountains. So all those clouds are being gathered by those mountains and turned into rain, and that's flowing down right directly here. And that's why you have to be careful. It might not be raining right here, which is it's not right now. But at some point, that flowing wash is going to get more of a flow to it. It's going to be a flowing wash. So you got to be careful out here. I was leery of that when I camped out here a lot. I kept track of what it was doing up there in those mountains, because sure enough, if I waited for it, I could see it. Just plus this wash gathers and flows through and near that park, and it gets some pretty good flooding going through there too. Most of it bypasses, but we still get flooding that way. I hear some thunder, but it's all coming from that direction. And it's weird because the wind right now, the ground surface wind, is blowing towards the south. It's coming from the north. So that's always puzzling to me, but usually that doesn't mean much, because what it's doing up there is independent much of the time of what it's doing. It's beautiful up there, though. Let's try zooming in for a bit. Big old flat top mountains. So it goes all the way up in there into the foothills, and even farther, and on the way it passes by Ramsey Mine. I love the sound of that wash down there. You can hear it. Yeah, come in, zoom. It's draining a little bit off right now, but When I first got here, you could really hear the babbling brook. Through the rocks. It's too bad I'm not prepared with a sluice, but I'm not going to do that. It's too much trouble, and don't know what I'm doing. It'd be a waste of time for me to. Maybe somebody who knew how to do it, they could do some gold prospecting, gold mining out of that flow with water. Because that's the big drawback here, trying to get to separate gold without water. That's a whole nother thing. So, again, that's all for now. And here's the thing. People don't realize, I guess. This is what's left after somebody does dumps their waste, the black water tanks. And this will be here for, my guess would be, a year and a half. I've seen these things last that long. That's the toilet paper. Everything else is biodegradable, biodigestible, but believe it or not toilet paper. It will be there. Once toilet paper gets wet and then dries out in the sun, it's more or less petrified. And it'll be there for a while. And that's not the worst part. The worst part is where they did that. They did that right down here, right uphill of this stream. RV park. And depending on when they did that, what goes in to that waterway down there Anyway, I don't have to describe it. Everybody knows. And there are rules and regulations that you just cannot do anything like that within, what, 200 or 300 feet, I guess, of any kind of water. So that is just totally unacceptable. If anybody does that, snap out of it. You got to realize there's ways to deal with that. This is not one of them. Okay, that's the end of this public service announcement. And by the way, yes, the rains are coming again. That's the mountains to the south of us, and they're socked in now, so it's coming this way. I think that haze reaching the ground is rain, and it's moving this way. This is the way that always does. Oops, there's some thunder, lightning. It always does that. Even though the wind is coming from behind me, the weather is moving from the south, from in front of me, towards me. And as it does it, it socks in those mountains, comes down the streams. And don't get me wrong, I'm loving this. I have waited for a long time to see this out here in the desert. The Sonoran Desert is special. It's a desert, but it has one of the highest biodiversity factors of any of the deserts. There's a lot alive out here because we do get these monsoons. These monsoon rains just brings everything back to life. So even though it'll get 120 degrees out here and cook everything, the animals know that stuff. They migrate. And the plants, they hibernate one way or another. They survive. These creosote bushes, they never die. They can handle anything. They live for hundreds of years. All these trees, these bushes, they've adapted. They can handle that stuff. Humans, not so much. But since we have everything we need to survive, this is a gift that I can come out here. And if it gets too rough, I'll just go back home and turn on the air conditioner and sit back and watch TV and drink a beer and complain about the current state of affairs. But for now, I'm out here. See, there's actually some almost blue-gray directly south of us. That's where the wind is coming from. And the rain is hitting me in the face right now, which is weird. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but the weather map that I looked at, the weather radar, had this stuff lasting into the night. The forecast said it would end relatively soon, but that's just the very surface forecast, superficial forecast. The weather radar, you can see this stuff happening, and there was more coming and forming all the way, and that's how I tracked it coming right off the tip of the Gulf of California. This evening, it'll be forming right at where the Colorado River used to enter the Gulf of California, and forming and coming all the way north to us. All night long. All night long, y'all. Okay, that's... Hey, look at that cute little van. There's a refrigerator, and I don't know if I had shown that. I've modified I have. The whole setup is the refrigerator at the bottom, working off of solar cells and batteries, and then Coleman cooler inserted into the top of it to keep things like a refrigerator. So it's like a refrigerator section on top with the freezer on the bottom. Behind that, the bed stretches all the way to the back. Underneath it is storage, and underneath the refrigerator is how many gallons? I've got 20 gallons of water down under there now, at the center of gravity. And when I'm sitting in there driving, I balance out that refrigerator so that the center of gravity still remains the same. And so that back here, I've not added very much weight. That's storage for, okay, my tent and all that camping stuff is under the bed. And then there's some extra room for, whatever extra I bring. And my diesel heater will be there. It's not there now. Strapped up against the side there. And in front of that is my food storage, my electrical panels, battery, and appliances. So that all in all, I have a perfectly balanced minivan, more or less. And by the way, it is starting to rain again. But I love it. And there's one thing I really love about weather like this. These chaparral bushes that are also called creosote bushes because of the way they smell. They're reminiscent of creosote. Now, creosote itself is a byproduct of the oil refining process, I think, and it's some nasty stuff, but they use it to preserve wood and stuff like that, posts, fence posts. So it's a natural preservative, and it because of the way it's made, it has some bad smells to it. But these creosote bushes, they're just reminiscent of that. And when it rains, like right now, you get this really delicate smell permeating everything out here from these creosote bushes. And it is so nice. It has the definition of clean smell. It smells like your mother doing laundry. You know, it's just such a nice smell that is all over the desert at this time. And all the dust is gone from the air. So all that is such a fresh air in the desert right now. I wish I could. I wish I had smell-o-vision to transfer this very clean air right now. Otherwise, the desert air is not very clean. But right now, it's marvelous.
think that's about all for now.